Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the mental trap of society and how it is structured to keep us there. And by the end of the video, I think we might be able to find a way out. So, first things first, society is a mental trap in the sense that unfortunately, in the way that it is structured, our current role is cattle. Now, originally it wasn't this way, and it's not one person's fault. But the reason it has become this way is simply due to scale. The human race, the human population, has simply gotten too big for its own good. And now, with a society that big, we lose the value of the individual. We really do lose individualism. And it's almost like we all start moving as one organism, right? And the individuals are simply cells that combine to make up this greater organism. And then, of course, we have societal values, community values that get us attached to the organism, that get us attached to the system. But I think the worst crime is that it makes us reliant on the system through this specialization. For example, let's say I'm an accountant, right? I'm really damn good at crunching numbers. Give me a math equation and I can knock it out like that. Smart as freak. But I can't build a fire. I unfortunately can't build my own shelter. I can't, deal with my kids' emotional issues. I'm not a therapist. I simply know numbers. What does that really make me? Yes, I'm making good money. Yes, I'm technically providing for my family because I'm using that money to buy food, buy shelter, buy all their needs. But really, what value does that give me as a person? Spiritually, what value does that give you as a person? And so it's not like, you can break away from society and go live off the land, go do your own thing, because you don't know how to. You're not equipped with the knowledge or the resources. And so it keeps you stuck and it keeps you afraid. So a saying that I hear talked about a lot is a jack of all trades is a master of none, right? We hear that first part quite a bit. What I don't hear as often is the second part, which I feel like is often forgotten. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but better than a master of one. And that is very much true. Yet when you take a look at society currently, everything is specialized. Every career, every sector is focused on specialization because we're not individuals, we're simply smaller parts of a greater whole. And this is the structure that keeps us nothing but cattle because we're not working for ourselves. We're not building for ourselves. We're building for the greater organism. We're working for the greater society as a whole. And we all know that a certain number of people sit at the head of that whole. And I am not living life for them. I am not working for them. I'm living life for myself, working for myself, and living life for my family and working for my family. And I know you guys are too. So it's important to really strive to be independent. Don't rely on the butcher shop down the road for your meat. Learn how to hunt, learn how to farm. Don't rely on fast food because you don't know how to cook. Don't rely on all these different sectors of society to fill in on the parts of your skill set that you lost due to specialization. Do you think so, guys? I really want you to put this into perspective. We are the smartest we have ever been in history. We're the most intelligent, the most knowledgeable, and since we learn from our previous generations, we know how to get things done. And so, why are we the most fearful, y'all? Why are we living in fear? And that's what I'm saying. The structure is built to keep us in this mindset of fear, you know? So if our ancestors back in the day, if our Neanderthal ancestors can survive without society supporting them, without them relying on the butcher shop down the street, without relying on fast food because they don't know how to cook. If they can survive and live life, guys, without, the fear of just doing what we want, then I'm sure we can too. Like I said, we are the smartest we have ever been. So it's important to realize that there are certain factors in this world, both physical and spiritual, that are meant to keep us contained at a lower level of life. And it's important to realize the factors that are keeping us where we're at. We have so many distractions in the world, advertisements, right? Consumerism. I see this one as the biggest issue right now. We're so focused on wanting the next biggest thing. We're seeing our peers, buy that new car, go on that trip, and so we feel behind in life. So we start working at the job, producing like cattle to go buy that new car, to go on that trip, so we can show that we're successful in life too. When really all we're doing is playing into their hands. That's not living for ourselves. That's living for what other people think about us. That's living for vanity. So really, guys, think about what you want in life. Freedom is not the more money you make. Freedom is the less that you need. Because if I don't need anything at all, I'm as free as a bee just sitting in a field. But if I need the newest car, if I need the newest clothes, if I need to go to these big traveling trips, if I need to go to these parties, then I'm always going to be a slave to something, because those are what I view as my needs. So, guys, freedom is not achieved with more money, it's achieved by meaning less, by needing less. So, guys, really focus on what you need and really think about it. Because if you don't need that new car, y'all, if you don't need the newest video game, you don't need the newest clothes, if you can get out of the trap of consumerism and all these flashy, poppy ads distracting you from what really matters, then you can start laying down the right foundations. And this is what I like to call living by design, right? You're not being strung along by these ads, by what society is telling you need to do. You really take control of your life and you start to design and intentionalize every aspect of it. Instead of spending hours in the morning scrolling on TikTok, right? Because we get stuck in that. You intentionally do what you mean to do in the morning. You go on that run, you cook the breakfast, you set yourself up for success during the day. And it's going to take a lot of mental toughness, y'all. And you're going to have to really be proactive with it. You're going to have to live in the moment and really police yourself on when you find yourself getting distracted and caught up in the traps of society. When you catch yourself scrolling, when you catch yourself being intrigued by an advertisement. Really police yourself on it and realize that those are not needs. They're simply wants and tricks of the mind to keep us docile and cattle. So really find out what you want in life. What life do you want to live? Do you want to travel? Do you want to live in a big house? Do you want to build a family? What do you want? Where do you want to be in 10 years? All right. And intentionally live the life that'll lead to that. Don't go blow money on expensive dinners if you want to own a big house down the line. Because what is that big dinner going to do for you? You're going to be full and happy, but you'll also be full and happy off the chicken and rice. And then you'll be more closer to your ultimate goal because you wouldn't have spent that money. So really eliminate the distractions of society, guys, and start living by design. And then we can elevate ourselves to live the happy, spiritually fulfilled lives that human beings are meant to be living, instead of this, where it's comfortable and it's nice, but it's not right. And I think you guys all know what I mean by that feeling. So start being independent, y'all. Start becoming that jack of all trades, because remember, a master of none is better than a master of one.